Hi friends, welcome to RT series by Women's Publishing House. This is your friend Arthur. This children is your English series for class 8. Your course book is English Skylights by Shikha Sharma. And today we are going to begin with chapter number 7, that is Uncle Podger has a picture. So children, this is a very funny chapter. This is a very funny story and you are all going to enjoy it. Right? Now, one exercise for you. Find 10 modern objects in the painting, right? Right? You see here an airplane. You find 10 modern objects. Okay? Can you do this on your own? Good. Now, about the lesson, children. This lesson is about Uncle Podger, who is a difficult man to please and who doesn't allow anyone else to do a job. He is unable to do anything quietly or without creating a mess. He cannot do any job without creating a mess, and even then he says that I am going to do it alone. He doesn't allow anybody else. He doesn't allow anybody else to do that job. When he wants to hang the picture on the wall, he spoils the entire wall. There was this time when he wanted to hang a picture on the wall, and instead of hanging the picture, he spoiled the entire wall. And the picture is hung crooked. It is out of place when it is hung. He doesn't do things in an organized way. Why all this happens? Because he is not an organized man. Let's start reading this funny story. You never saw such a commotion up and down a house in all your life as when my Uncle Podger undertook to do a job. What is a commotion? It is great noise or excitement that you see in your house, right? So the author says that you never saw such excitement in your house as when my Uncle Podger decided to do some or the other stuff. The picture would have come home from the frame maker. The picture had come to their house from the frame makers and be standing in the dining room, waiting to be put up on the wall. And Aunt Podger, she would ask what was to be done with it, what was to be done with the picture that has come. And Uncle Podger, what he would say, leave that to me, don't you? Any of you worry yourselves about that. I'll do all that. So he's ready to undertake that job. He says, oh, you all do not need to worry at all. I will do everything on my own. Don't worry yourselves, right? And then he would take off his coat and begin. And he would start preparations for putting that picture up on the wall. He would send the girl out for 6 pennorths of nails. 6 pennorths means 6 penny worth, right? 6 penny worth of nails. And then one of the boys, after her to tell her what size to get first, he would send one girl to get the nails, and then he would forget to tell her the size. He would send another boy after that girl to tell her what size of the nails to be got. And from that, he would gradually work down and start the whole house. And from that, he would start giving commands and instructions one after the other and involve each and every person of the house. And then he would say, I will do it all alone. Let's see how he hangs the picture. Now you go and get me my hammer, Will. Now he says to Will, go and get my hammer, he would shout. And you bring me the rule, Tom. What is the rule? This is a ruler that you use to measure this. Right, to measure length. So he would shout, Will, you go and get my hammer. And to Tom he said, you go get me the rule. And I shall want the step ladder also on which you can climb up and reach a certain height. Right? So I shall want the step ladder and I had better have a kitchen chair too. He wanted a chair too, so he ordered Tom to get him a room, step ladder, and a kitchen chair. And Jim, now what he ordered to Jim, he said, you run down to Mr. Gobbles. There was a man, he was his friend, Mr. Gobbles, and tell him our kind regards that I is sending regards to him, and hope his legs better, and will he lend him his spirit level. What is a spirit level, children? It is a device which has alcohol partly filled into it, and it is used to check the level of the things, right? So, he asked Jim to go and run to Mr. Goggles and ask him if he would lend him his spirit level. Don't you go, Maria. Now he is saying this to his wife, Aunt Podger, Aunt Maria, because he says that I shall want somebody to hold me the light. He wants Aunt Maria to show him the light. And when the girl comes back, which was the girl he had sent for getting the nails, he says now when the girl comes back, she must go out again for a bit of picture cord. What is a picture cord? It is a flexible material, children, that is used to hang the pictures on the wall. So now he says when the girl comes back after getting the nails, she must go out again and get me a bit of picture cord. And Tom, where is Tom? Now again he is looking for Tom. Tom, you come here. I shall want you to hang me up the picture. So see how Uncle Podger has moved the entire house, and he was saying that nobody has to worry at all. He would do everything on his own, where he has involved each and every member of the family in one task or the other. Right? And then he would lift up picture and drop it. Now, when he would lift up picture to be put up on the wall, he would drop it, and it would come out of the frame, and the frame would be broken, and he would try to save the glass and cut himself. Now, in order to save the glass of the picture, he would cut himself, and then he would spring around the room looking for his handkerchief, and now that his hand was bleeding or his finger was bleeding, he would start searching for his handkerchief. He could not find his handkerchief because it was in the pocket of the coat he had taken off. And now where was the handkerchief? It was in the pocket of the coat he had taken off before beginning with all the preparations, and he did not know where he had put the coat, and he had no idea where he had put the coat. And all the house had to leave off looking for his tools and start looking for his coat. Now he sends off everyone to start looking for all his tools and also for his coat. Which while he would dance around and hinder them, and also he would keep on dancing here and there, and he would obstruct them, he would hinder them. Does anyone in the house know where my coat is? Now he would start getting angry. Does nobody know where my coat is? I never came across such a set in all my life. On my word, I didn't. I've never seen such useless people in my life. So few, 5 children and one Aunt Maria. All 6 of them were looking for his coat, which was nowhere to be found. And you can't find a coat that I put down not 5 minutes ago. It had not been 5 minutes that he had put down his coat, and nobody was able to find it. Now, all the he was in the middle of the sentence, then he would get up and find that he had been sitting on it and would call out. So all this time he was sitting on the coat itself, right? And then he would realize that the coat was just underneath him, and he would call out, you can all give it up. I have found it myself now. And now he would take this credit. Yes, you all are useless, and I am the one who found this coat. Now you all do not need to do anything. I must just as well ask the cat to find anything as expect you people to find it. Now he's saying that cat, a small cat would be able to find a small thing like a comb, but you people are useless. I must not ask you anything to find. When half an hour had been spent in tying up his finger, now after he had bandaged his finger and taken half an hour for that, and a new glass had been got and for the picture frame and the tools and the ladder and the chair and the candle had been brought, then he would have another go. Now he would again start putting up the picture on the wall. The whole family, including the girl and the charwoman. Who is a charwoman? A woman who is employed for cleaning the house, right? She's employed to clean your house. So, and the charwoman standing around in a semicircle, ready to help. Now, Uncle Podger climbed up the step ladder, and now he was ready to put up the picture, and all the other members of the family, they were gathered around him in a semicircle, all ready to help. Two people would have to hold the chair. He again starts ordering. Two people are going to hold the chair, and a third would help him on it, and a third person is going to help him climb on the chair and hold him there. And the fourth would hand him a nail. The fourth person is going to hand him the nail, and the fifth would pass him up the hammer. So he is all ready with all these instructions that he was giving these people, and he would take hold of the nail and drop it. After so much effort, what he would do before he dropped the picture itself, and now he would drop the nail. And now what happened? There he would say in an injured tone, now the nail is gone. Now everybody was asked to start looking for the nail. And we would all have to go down on our knees, right? They would all have to crouch and grovel, looking for something while kneeling down, while moving on your hands and knees, right? While he would stand on the chair, he would keep standing on the chair, and we all would be looking for the fallen nail and grunt. He would be very angry and want to know if he was to be kept there all evening, and now he would start grunting that am I to be kept standing here all evening? Why you can't find a small nail? Right? The nail would be found at last, and at last those people would find the nail. But by that time he would have lost the hammer. Now that the nail was found, the hammer was lost. Where's the hammer? Now he would say, what did I do with the hammer? Great heavens! Now he did not remember where he kept the hammer. 7 of you gaping around there and don't know what I did with the hammer. He says, the 7 of you, you all are looking at me, you all are gaping at me, and even then you don't know where I kept my hammer. We would find the hammer for him now. All of them would find the hammer, and then he would have lost sight of the mark he had made on the wall. Now he would not be able to find the mark where he had to put the nail, where the nail was to go in, and each of us had to get up on the chair. Now each of the persons would take up turns, get up on the chair beside him and see if we could find it. Everyone tried to find the mark he had put, and we would each discover it in a different place, and every person would locate a different mark on the wall, and he would call us all fools, and one after the other, and tell us to all get down, tell us all to get down. Say, you all are fools, all of you get down. And he would take the rule and remeasure and find that he wanted half 31 and 3/8 inches from the corner. Now he would again start remeasuring and again started trying to put the mark on the wall, and would try to do this in his head and go mad, and he would not be able to do all the measurements in his head, and we would all try to do it in our head and all arrive at different results. And all of us, all these children, they started doing these calculations in their heads, and they would arrive at different answers. and sneer at one another. Sneer means laughing, looking at each other's faces in a disrespectful or displeased manner. They would all sneer at one another. And in the general row, the original number would be forgotten, and Uncle Podger would have to measure it again. So he would have to again take the measurements for the mark. Right. He would use a bit of string this time, and at the critical moment, when the old stool was leaning, old fool was leaning over the chair at an angle of 45 and trying to reach a point 3 inches beyond what was possible for him to reach the string, he would slip. Now, he would use a string to mark the point. Now, what happened when he was trying to reach a point which was 3 inches beyond his reach, right? He was not that tall to reach that point, and he was trying to put a mark at that point. What would happen? He would slip, right? And down he would slide on the piano, and he would fall on the piano that was underneath. A really fine musical effect being produced by the suddenness with which head and body struck all the notes at the same time. He would fall on the piano, and the piano, all the keys, they would struck a note together. His head and body, they all have collided with the keys of the piano, and a different and a really fine musical effect was produced, right? And Aunt Maria would say that she would not allow the children to stand around and hear such language, right? She would not allow her children to be scolded in such foul language by Uncle Podger. At last, Uncle Podger would get the spot fixed again and put the point of the nail on it with his left hand. Now he found the spot, and now he was trying to put the nail with his left hand and take the hammer in his right hand. And with the first blow, he would smash his thumb. And the first blow he made, he would smash his thumb and drop the hammer with a yell on somebody. So he would shout and drop the hammer on somebody's toes, right? Aunt Maria would mildly observe that next time Uncle Podger was going to hammer a nail into the wall, she hoped he would let her know in time so that she could make arrangements to go and spend a week with her mother while it was being done. She said in a low voice that next time Uncle Podger is going to try and put a picture on the wall and hit a nail in the wall, I am going to go and spend a week with my mother, right? So she was saying, she was taunting in a way that Uncle Podger is taking so much time to do such a small task. Oh, you woman! What did Uncle say? Oh, you women! You make such a fuss over everything. You make so much fuss over small. Potter would reply, picking himself up. Now he got up and said, why, I like doing a little job of this sort. I like doing such job. And then he would have another try. Now he would again try driving that nail into the wall. And at the second blow, the nail would go clean through the plaster and half the hammer after it. Right? The nail, it went entirely inside the plaster, and also half the hammer also went into the wall. And Uncle Podger, he precipitated against the wall with a force merely sufficient to flatten his nose. What is the meaning of precipitated, children? Precipitated means to suddenly force something with a very great force. Yeah, you force something very forcefully. Uncle Podger, he hammered it so badly that the nail and the hammer and he himself collided with the wall. Then we had to find the rule and the string again. Now it all began again. We had to find the ruler again and the string also, and a new hole was made. Now a new hole was made at a different position, different place, and about midnight. And it was about midnight the picture would be up. Finally the picture was up, but it was very crooked. It was out of place, right? And insecure, and it was not at all secure that it would fall off any moment. The wall for yards round, looking as if it had been smoothed down with a rake. What is a rake? It is a tool which has all these blades on it, tooth on it, that is used for scraping. So the wall would look as if it had been scraped with a rake, and everybody deadbeat. Deadbeat means everybody, every person was so exhausted, so tired and wretched, unhappy. Wretched means unhappy. We all would be so exhausted and unhappy except Uncle Podger, who would be very happy that he had done his job. There you are, he would say happily, stepping heavily off the chair and onto the charwoman's corn. He stepped on the charwoman's foot that had corns on it and surveying the mess. Now he would check all the mess that he had made with evident pride, right? Why some people would have had a man in to do a little thing like that. Now he would say, I imagine why people call it someone to do such a small task as this. He did not even realize how much mess he had created to do such a small task. He could have asked for help, children. So, if you are not good at something, you could always take somebody else's help, right? So, this is written by Jeremy K. Jeremy, right? Clear to all of you children? Good. Now, what is the moral that you learn from this story? We should do the work as per our capability and knowledge and should not boast or give orders unnecessarily. We should be able to understand our own capabilities and do or take up work according to that, right? And we should not keep ordering around. We should not give unnecessary orders to others, right? Yeah? Now let's read and write. Take the correct answer. Uncle Podger would take off his coat. Why he would take off his coat? In preparation for hanging the picture. Right? How many people did Uncle Podger send on the nail errand? So he sent one girl to get the nail and another boy after her to tell her what size of the nail he should be getting. So he sent two people on the nail errand. Right? Uncle Podger could not find his handkerchief because it was in the pocket of the coat that he had taken off. Right? So he had kept the handkerchief in his coat pocket. Number 4, the nail would be found at last, but by that time he would have lost the hammer. What does it show? That he was highly disorganized, that he was terribly disorganized, right? So children, let's start doing these fill in the blanks. Number 1 says, the story is an extract from the book Three Men in a Boat, right? Three Men in a Boat. Okay? Uncle Podger was himself sitting on the coat, right? He was sitting on the coat. Aunt Dash would not allow the children to stand round and hear such language. So, Aunt Maria. Number 4, at last Uncle Podger would get the spot. Again. The total members in the house was, how many of them were there? 5 children, 1 charwoman, and uncle and aunt Podger. There were 8 of them. Right? Now, true or false, Uncle Podger was trying to hang a picture on the wall. Yes, he was. True. The house was well cleaned. No, he had created a mess in the house. So, false. Number 3, the handkerchief was in the pocket of the coat. Yes, true. Number 4, the narrator of the incident is Jerome K. Jerome. Yes, he is the one. The picture was up at about midnight. Yes, it was about midnight when he could put the picture on. So, true. Clear to all of you? Let's move on. Now answer the following question. Do you think Uncle Podger created a confusion only when he set out to hang a picture? Give a reason for your answer. No, Uncle Podger used to create a mess every time he set out to do a job. Why? Because he was a terribly disorganized man. So every task he undertook, he created a mess, right? List the accessories and tools that Uncle Podger needed for hanging the picture. So what all did he need? He needed nail, hammer, a rule, what he did, a step ladder, a kitchen chain. He needed a light, and he also needed the picture cord and spirit level. Right? So all these things are that was needed by Uncle Podger to hang the picture. Why does Uncle Podger say he may as well ask the cat? What does this tell us about him? Uncle Podger means to say that even a cat would have been able to find his teeth that he had taken off only 5 minutes before. But you all are useless, right? He calls a cat of more use than the rest of the people. Why? What does this tell us about him? That he does not value other people's work, right? What did all the members of the family have to do to help Uncle Podger hang the picture? So, what all did everything, or what all those people helped him doing? So, first of all, he sent a girl to get the nails, and again sent a boy after that girl to get the right size of the nails. After that, he ordered Bill to get him what? What did he order him? He asked him to get hammer, right? After that, he asked Tom to get him a rule, a step ladder, and a kitchen chair, right? And what he continued doing? He then asked Jim to go to Mr. Bogler and get him a spirit level. He ordered Aunt Maria stay by his side and show him the light. Again, after the girl had returned from the market after getting the nails, he again sent him to get the picture cord, right? So this was a list of things he ordered his children to do for him, right? So I hope this chapter is clear to you. We are going to meet very soon with the next chapter, children. Bye, kids. Stay in it.